Well, hey, I've got a CRKT here, and I haven't run too many of these through the channel, but I have owned a few through the years, and this one is pretty interesting to me. This is a Provoke, and it's the compact version. Um, and if you're not familiar with it, we're going to get right in and look at it. They call it a kinematic knife, and it's pretty interesting what I'm seeing, how these actions work, and I've seen people run them. Um, I don't know. That looks like just an advertisement there, but you know what? Let's just get it out and play with it. I'm not sure what all the materials are here either. This doesn't say, so I'm not sure. All right. Well, how do you get it out of there? Okay. And then that's the locked position. Has he got steel? It's 40-45 steel. Stone washed. Yeah, it feels sharp as a razor with this little finger hole. I'm guessing we're like this. No pocket clip, which kind of what encouraged me to get the compact version. The smaller this is in my pocket, I think the happier I'd be. Now, you never know. Sometimes the larger version would have been the right version, but I think what I read there was that you push this and it releases it. Yeah, there it went. Boy, that doesn't release very easy, that's for sure. It's got like a detent coming out of there. So if this is the way you hold it, then that's how you fire the knife open. Let me try that again. So if I'm holding it here, there it is. That's pretty quick. But ooh, is that stiff? I wonder if that can be dealt with. I mean, surely we're going to find out. It looks like it's some T10s. I don't know. We'll see, man. Yeah, so definitely that's the way to hold it. And so I do think, yeah, that's the ticket right there. Now it'd be nice if you could close it just as easily, but there's no way to actuate that holding this knife. It's got a nice reverse grip. I mean, maybe that reverse grip has got something going on too. So that in the end, it's a better karambit, like right here. Yeah, look at that. I don't know if I was centered in the camera, but let's do that again. Wow. So right here, definitely could punch with that, holding this. And then I guess if need be, you just go, oh, hold on. I was gripping it. You just go, come on. How cool is that? Wow. Very nice. Nice little karambit. I mean, how happy would I be if it would have been this way? You know what I mean? I'd have been happy. Look at that. Look at that hook. But I digress. Yeah, very cool. I mean, so this is certainly reasonable this way, but as a karambit, that seems like that's the natural, and then the flip to get that out. And then if that spring wasn't so, there's got to be some type of spring mechanism on that. Well, I mean, come on. If you don't venture forth, you never discover, right? Maybe bigger than a T10. Seems like there's some play in there for sure. What about this? Is this a T8 or a T6? Well, that's a T10. Or is that a T8? I think that's a T8. There's the T10. Right there. Yeah, it's a T10. All right. Well, let's go for it. Oh, may not want me to get in there. Could be one of those knives that they're not made to come apart. Let's try the T6 and see if we can't at least access this lock. Yeah, it's going to let us in there. Let's see what we find. What's behind door number 1? Probably need to be careful in case there's a spring. There's some oil. We'll be wiping that out of there. And then there's some more. And I believe they house that locking mechanism. Maybe other stuff too, I don't know. But they are see anything moving here? No. But those aren't T6s. They're smaller. Let's see what I got here. There's a T5. Jackpot. Okay. Well, let's keep going. See how deep we can get into this rabbit hole. What kind of mess we can get into here. It's always funny. There's probably 10 videos that show people doing this thing exactly here, and then the knife come unsprung and you can't put it back together. Yeah. Ah, well. Interesting. Well, I wonder if I just don't need a little better leverage for this T10. Let me try my first attempt. Get in here. Whew. Yeah, that didn't seem to want to comply at all. All right, well, I'm going to try my wrench. Here we come. Wrench City, man. There's Uno. Who's your daddy, punk? All right, well, let's get to the next one. I shouldn't be calling names. I'm not a part yet. It's like, what's that? Something about a fat lady and talking smack or singing a song. I don't know, something. But I'm still its daddy. Whatever it says, I own it. All right, let's get that out of the way. Well, let's remove the blade and see what we're up against. because I think the blade will come off now. That is a piece of hardware right there. And that is too. They both have a fair amount of Loctite on them. And looking at it, it looks like this will just lift off now, or that it should. It appears stuck. Well, it's funny because I took them screws out and now the tension is such that it doesn't want to open. Isn't that interesting? I don't think I want to lock it open because, huh, 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 huh. What about that? Is that going to come out of there? Yeah, there's space there now. Let me try this. There, that's coming. Careful. It'll be like a bomb disposal agent here. All right, well, I see the spring and I see how it rides on that to create detent. It makes total sense. I see it. And it wouldn't take much to lighten that spring for sure. You just got to pinch it, right? It kind of doesn't explain why pulling them screws out make everything so much stiffer. That detent is pretty interesting how that works right there. Well, I mean, we're in for a penny, we're in for a pound. Let's pull that spring and see. I think this comes out. And then I do believe there's no real tension on that at this point. It just falls out. The long side is down. I need to remember that. And then that part should come out. Yep. And it's very interesting that the tightness of the screw causes this to be smooth. And without the screw in there, it's bound. And I'm noticing that these pivot on this center point. They pivot on it. I'm not sure that I see a benefit at this point of pulling those screws. Even if I could take this off, which something tells me in order to do it, See, this is machined right here. And so my guess is even to take that off, these got to be unscrewed. Well, there it goes. They're not tight. Well, let's do it. We're here. Let's get a real look. What about this one? Yep, there it goes. So they really swing on that. But it's metal to metal here. This piece and this piece are metal to metal. And I'm guessing this is aluminum. I don't think it's titanium. Steel. Yeah, I'm guessing that's aluminum. And then all this will be steel, which, yeah, all the hardware's steel. Yep. Okay. Very interesting. So, still isn't, my brain still hasn't figured out by loosening that screw, how did that action get worse? Oh, okay. I already know. Because the tension between this screw and this hollow screw locks that in place, and without this side it's uneven and it's tight against here. This balances it out. Makes perfect sense to me now. Okay. Well, the only question now is, do I take a little bit out of the spring? Because it was a little tight. How hard is that going to be to do? That wasn't hard at all. All right. Well, let's see what's up, man. I mean, I'm going to wipe these points off and put some fresh oil on them. It's amazing how free these are. A little bit of play in there. But I guess when you grab them both, there's none. So there might be a little bit individually there and a little bit individually there. But between the two of them, it probably creates a solid platform. All right. Well, the blade can go back on and all this be an afterthought. So I guess let's do the blade. Let's put that blade back on. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a tiny little dab of lube on this surface. Kind of like I would a washer, like that. Yep. Interesting. I mean, somebody spent some time figuring the engineering out on this for sure, right? I mean, they're kind of loose, but that's okay. We got time to tighten things up. And they weren't super tight. They were kind of just snug. And snug right there makes that tight. All right, well, let's I'm going to close that so that blade's not flopping around trying to bite me. Bite me. What's that from? Was that Breakfast Club or something? I think so. Yeah, so one went in and it pushed the other one out. So they definitely counterbalance each, they counter each other for sure. So I got to take this one out, put this one in. And somehow I got to put this one in and not let that one move. So I think I need to find that bigger bit, which luckily I've got. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here, but I'm going to put some tools away. But in the end, it took two drivers, one on the T10 side, and then this is, I believe, a T20. Yeah, T20. And so the finesse to get these tight just right to eliminate play and then make this function so that you can snap that out of there. It is a delicate operation, and it takes patience because one little turn too much and it's too tight. Not enough turn and it's too loose. But I'm living proof you can get it. You just got to be patient. Yeah. I'm going to let me get rid of all these tools now and then we'll wrap up. Okay. I am going to have, I feel like my camera spun there, but I am going to have a couple of final thoughts here on this knife, but interesting because, being able to take it apart isn't the end goal of a good knife. I mean, it's part of a knife, but it's not the end of a knife. And this one, it's not that it's not doable. It's just fine tuning this blade connection point is something else. So let's talk about this action. Yeah, I mean, really cool. Really cool the way that functions. And then I can get it like a normal knife and come this way. I still think it would be a pinky hold. And, I mean, for what it is, I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a B to a B plus. And the reason being is because of this lock. This edge is pretty sharp. And then the force that it takes to unlock that, I just think that with a little more thought, this could have been easier. Now, maybe that's the best they could get it. Maybe that's it right there. And it is doable. And of course, the more I do it, the better it gets. But does it take some pressure on my thumb to actuate that lock? I just think they could have accentuated that a little more so that wasn't so difficult. But maybe it's by design. They like, yeah, we don't want any false unlocks because, of course, man, you don't want that coming down on your knuckles, right? But I'll give it a B plus. I mean, no one going in, and at the end of the day, closing it isn't near as important as opening it. Agreed? Like if I got to take my time to close it, okay. But when I get it open, if I'm here, I want to be able to, very quickly get that out without complications. And the knife does that. So, I mean, I'll give it a B plus. It locks up pretty tight. I mean, I've got it tuned to where there's almost virtually no wiggle here, and I can still snap it out there. You can grab this knife without going in the finger hole as well, and I'm pretty sure this would cut just about anything. Needle of a tip. Yeah, just crazy pokey. Ergonomics. You know, this is one of the comments that I wanted to make. It almost makes me wonder if I shouldn't try the large one. Now, I'll tell you, if you have the large one and you love the ergonomics on it, be sure to comment down below. Let me know, because it'll encourage me to try the large one. I say large when actually I think that's the normal one and this is just the small one. But yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe the ergonomics, like this ceramic grip on the larger one, is just slightly better, because I feel like I'm just missing it. Like, this is the kind of grip where you put it in and it can just be money, or it can be off, or it can be just kind of off. Well, I'm kind of here, but I feel like I'm tensioned against my finger, and it could just be my big old fat hand. I don't know, but it's doable. I don't dislike it, so I'm gonna say okay on the ergos. There's no pocket clip, so we'll bypass that part of the check. Um, let's see if this tip is exposed. I mean, it kind of is. It's over here out in the open, and if you catch that, so it's interesting. Like, how would you carry that? Because that tip is exposed. I mean, they almost should have, like, just some kind of hood that slides down over, just so you can't catch that tip. Because you can. But, I mean, you add the cool factor and you go, wow, let's check that blade. How sharp is that? What did I say it was? 40, 45? Yeah, man. Plenty sharp. All right, price and availability. What's something like this cost, and where can you pick it up? Okay, these run, I don't know, 150s, 160s. Um, this one will probably find its way over to Timber's Edge as an open box item. I mean, I played quite a bit with this thing. I mean, it's in great condition. I didn't do nothing to it, and it's tuned up well. But with the discount code, I don't know. You're probably, maybe there'll be around 130 or so for this, which is a good price. And I did see that these are actually D2 steel. They're in D2. Yep. And I think I may try the bigger one. But hey, if you're looking for one of these, use your discount code over there at Timber's Edge Knives, and you can probably pick this up around 130 or so. Yep. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching.